Spoonful for you, back at you again with another video. Now, before we start, I would just like to say, go join the Save Splash Mountain Society on Facebook. It's called, I believe it's actually the Splash Mountain Society. It was requested by one of my viewers for myself to mention it in this video. So please go join that society and sign the petition on change.org. Also, let's get this video up to 20 likes. And let's share this video, hit the bell icon. It is going to be awesome. Now, I have to say something. I've personally never seen the full movie of Son of the South. It is very, very difficult to see these days. It is a very controversial film, obviously, because they're now removing Splash Mountain. Well, they might be removing Splash Mountain from the Disney parks. And Son of the South, Disney thought it was just too insensitive for a modern audience. So unfortunately, it has been locked away behind bars, and you can only see it online today, or I believe you can get maybe an old copy on eBay. But anyways, Son of the South is a film that was released in the late 40s. It was Walt Disney's idea to create something that could relate to African Americans. During that time period, African Americans were very misunderstood. They were seen as not as pure as white people. They were seen as different than white people and not as privileged. They would not be able to do things. They were not allowed to talk to white people most of the time. And when they did talk to white people, they were called very, very disgusting racist names. And white people lived their lives and black people lived their lives. And for the longest time, that's how the world was, and that's how reality was. Walt Disney, however, used the charm of his company, the special magic only found in Disney. He used it to bridge the gap almost temporarily, almost kind of like just for a second. He bridged the gap for whites and blacks. And they came together for a split second and then split apart again. Walt Disney used black African American actors. The actor who played Brer Rabbit and Uncle Remus was the first African American actor to win a famous award. Usually, white people won awards back then. But it was a huge, huge achievement for Uncle Remus himself to win an award. I think he deserved all of it, all of the praise, because without Uncle Remus, Son of the South would have not been as magical. But Uncle Remus is what brings it all together. He's the physical and spiritual embodiment of every black man. Uncle Remus is kind, he's pure, he's helpful. He doesn't care about racial discrimination. He doesn't care about racism. He just wants to help people. And the film takes place after the Civil War, in a time period where everyone's coming together. Slaves are friends with their former masters. And their former masters are no longer masters. They are people. They are human beings to these black people. And the stories of Brer Rabbit were created by African Americans, especially Uncle Remus. And Uncle Remus, from what I've seen, meets a bunch of white children, I think 2 white children, that are going through a lot of problems, and Uncle Remus just wants to give them a story that he knows of, a story that his culture loves and adores and represents. And of course, we don't know if the children will like this story, but of course they enjoy and start listening to it. And the stories go, it shows Brer Rabbit, his misadventures in the cartoon world. It's very well done. It has some very famous songs. The most famous, of course, is Zippity Doo Dah, Zippity A. The animation is stunning, and I think they do a really, really good job with blending in the live actors with the animation. And I think the animation is the most famous part of this film, and the aforementioned Zippity Doo Dah, Zippity A. But a lot of people don't really understand the movie because the media tells lies about the film. And I think someone should view the film first and then give their honest opinion. And if someone deems the film as racist after they watch it, then that's their opinion. But they need to watch the film first and get a grasp of reality and not fantasy that the media is trying to tell us. There's tons of children growing up today that support Black Lives Matter and they support this movement, but they don't understand that Son of the South was very, very famous. It was something that bridged the gap between blacks and whites very, very temporarily before they just became racist again towards one another. But the film was huge, and Walt really wanted the actor of Uncle Remus, James Baskett, I'm pretty sure, I think, or Bassett. He really wanted this actor to be there for the premiere. I believe the premiere was in Atlanta, Georgia, and back then it was very racist. Unfortunately, Walt could not get him a place at the premiere. But think about that, how different times were back then. African Americans were not allowed places in premieres. That is insane. But Walt, he worked kindly, and the actors themselves spoke good about Walt. They said he was a kind man, and they said they had no problem against the film. And they spoke that if African Americans talked trash about this film, then they're not true African Americans. They're not true to their culture. And I 100% believe that. And I stick up for these actors that worked in the film. They loved what they were doing. They thought there was nothing wrong with it. And they enjoyed having that experience. Imagine you work your whole life to become Uncle Remus, and you get the first award for a black actor. And now it's just stripped away from you. You're stuck behind closed doors. Do you know how insulting that must be for these actors that worked their butts off, that gave their lives for these films? It's very, very insulting, but that's how the world is, because the world doesn't care about you. The world cares about a political agenda. It cares about violence, and it cares about money. Everything's for a political gain. It's all a puzzle piece. That is what happens today in the world. And Son of the South is a beautiful film. It's not perfect. It does drag on a little bit from what I've seen. It does lack some of that oomph that Disney had back then, but it has nothing to do with racism. It has nothing to do with anything that people talk about when they talk about this film. There's nothing controversial in this film. I do believe, though, that it's a little slow here and there, and it doesn't have the pizzazz that other films in the Disney company had back then. However, it is still a really, really good film and should be released on Disney Plus. It should be viewed for a modern audience. I think modern audiences should watch the movie before they give their opinion of something. It's the same thing as giving an opinion on a person that walks into a classroom for the first ever time. You don't know this kid, but if you call him a school shooter, if you call him all these names, you are not getting the facts. So I hope you enjoy this video. What do you think of Son of the South? Have you seen Son of the South? Let me know down below. Comment down below. Subscribe. Do whatever the heck you want to do. And goodbye. Bye, everyone. Thanks for watching, guys. And don't forget to leave a like on the video.